Lynn, unfortunately, a very accidental Argentinian Grand Prix. Lot of things to comment, so let's go one by one. First of all, how do you see the action between Marc and Valentino in this turn number 13?
Unacceptable. So I don't think I need to really say anything else. I think it was dangerous, unacceptable, and deserves a very strong penalty.
From Yamaha's point of view, which will be a fair penalty to Marquez?
It's not for me to decide what would be a strong penalty. That's for race direction. They have to make their decision. I think that they gave him 30 seconds. So that 30 seconds created a situation. It was a second ride through, which was translated into 30 seconds, which means he gets no points. So is that a strong enough penalty? I ask the MotoGP.com viewers whether they think it's the right penalty or not. You know, from our perspective, we risked a rider getting injured. We lost a lot of points for Valentino, and it's simply, in my opinion, that was the second incident in this race, but it was also, I think, the fourth incident during this weekend where we've seen very dangerous actions. And frankly, I think it doesn't matter which rider it is, whether it's Marquez or anybody else. Riders must retain the respect for their fellow competitors and must behave with respect. And I think Valentino certainly has fear. When he knows Marquez is near him on the track, he fears that, and that's not correct.
Going back to 2015 in Malaysia, Valentino was penalized with a penalty starting on the back on the grid in the next GP in Valencia. Do you think that will Yamaha appeal for a penalty like this, for example, now in race direction, or which are your point of view?
I don't think we can, it's not for Yamaha to decide what the penalty is. I think all we can do is we can give our opinion, which we've clearly stated. Valentino and the team, we've been to race direction, we've expressed very clearly our opinion, and we've asked for them to take action that will prevent this type of behavior in the future. How they do that or which penalty they may give is up to them. I think in the race they already gave their penalty, and let us see whether there will be any follow-up.
And also, what do you think about the maneuver that Marquez did in the grid? That also it wasn't penalized there. Do you think that was a fair maneuver or a responsible maneuver or not?
Not at all. Not at all. I think to ride a bike the wrong way up the racetrack, my opinion, from my interpretation of the rule book, is against the rules. Secondly, he was requested by two marshals on the grid to leave the grid, because the rule is if you can't start your bike, you should leave the grid, fix the problem and leave from the pit lane. So there were two marshals on the grid that requested him to move to the side. He chose to ignore their request, turned the bike around, rode it the wrong way up the starting grid and started the race. I've never seen anything like it, but I'm not the one that makes the rules or judges the rules. So once again, you need to ask a race direction.
And finally, last one, Lynn. Also, Marc had an incident with Aleix Espargaró previously to the one with Valentino. You think that maybe the attitude from Marc during the whole race was a bit overhot, let's say?
Without doubt, during the race, definitely, because obviously he had a ride through. He was very aggressive, very fast in the beginning. He's been fast all weekend, so we know his speed. Then he had the first ride through. So of course then he had to be aggressive to come from the back to arrive in any position. You need to be aggressive, but there's a time and a place to pass. If you are clearly much faster on lap time than everybody else, there are plenty of opportunities to pass. You don't have to barge through on a corner to pass a rider and create danger for that rider. And this is something which I think this is the sort of behavior that we're asking to be corrected.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.